Today on COVID-19 Local Impact, Pedal for Hope goes virtual.
Not being able to go to the schools doesn't mean that we can't have Pedal for Hope.
The Northumberland United Way gets some good news.
It really does surpass our expectations, given everything that's going on in the world today.
And Peterborough remembers a lost member of the community.
He was someone who was extremely important.
Welcome to COVID-19 Local Impact. I'm Dan Malta from the Your TV Peterborough studios. To start things off, we'll take a look at the updated COVID-19 statistics from the area. In Peterborough City and County, Hiawatha and Curve Lake First Nations, 53 positive cases, 1,021 confirmed negative, with 268 still under investigation. 1 death and 24 resolved cases to this point. In the city of Kawartha Lakes, 109 cases, 6 hospitalizations, 33 confirmed deaths. 29 of those deaths as part of that 1 confirmed outbreak. In Bobcaygeon and in Northumberland County, 14 cases with 1 hospitalization to this point. Local public health, police, fire, paramedic, and city officials have been meeting regularly to discuss emergency control during the pandemic. Mayor Diane Therrien says the meetings are getting shorter in length because emergency measures are running smoothly. However, there are some issues that are continuing to cause concern.
There's still, questions around enforcement, and, the police and public works are on the call, and they're the ones that are primarily sort of responsible for, if they see groups of people, that aren't abiding by physical distancing, that kind of thing. And so those were sort of the main issues that we get. People's questions, I think, out in the community are getting, answered more regularly from all the different policies and directions that are coming down from not just us, but the province and the federal government as well. So, we still get questions about, do I have to go to work, for folks that don't work for the city. And it's kind of like, well, you have the right to refuse unsafe work, and the definition of an essential worker and essential business aren't decided by the municipality. They're decided by the province right now. So, the province has been really good about setting up additional lines at the, Ministry of Labor and those types of things for folks that are that have questions. And so that's sort of where things sort of stand right now.
Have you been hearing anything from the constituents? We're a few weeks into this now that you weren't hearing in the beginning?
Not too much that's new. I mean, obviously there's a lot of concerns from, small businesses, and there's concerns about the new, the programs that are rolling out from the province and the feds in particular, whether or not small businesses are eligible for some of those loan or grant programs. And so while the municipality doesn't have any power over that, certainly I relay that information on to our MP, and Minister Monsef's been very receptive about feedback, not just from me, but on the conference calls we have with the warden and all the township mayors, and MVP Smith is on those as well. So there is, that's sort of the main thing that we're hearing from now, folks that are rightfully concerned about what's going on. And there's, an economic recovery task force that's being formed, and there's some plans that are in the works that being done by the Rhonda at the Peterborough Kawartha's economic development, as well as some counselors, and then a lot of folks in the business community that want to be a part of that.
On Sunday, we learned of Peterborough's first COVID-19 related death. Today, we learn about the person the community lost. Retired Catholic School Board psychologist George Dimitrov. George is fondly remembered by his friend and former board member, Deidre Thomas.
I first met George when I came to the Peterborough, Victoria, Northumberland, and Clarington Catholic District School Board in 1998. And George was serving there as chief psychologist. He was someone who was extremely important and helpful to me. In coming in as a newly appointed superintendent of special education. I really relied on that voice of reason because he would give me his expert opinion, and That was a tremendous gift. And he would always offer that opposing view authentically, very clearly, and kindly.
You were part of Easter Mass, and when you spoke, and there was a part you were talking about COVID-19, and you had some long pauses. I just got the sense George was heavy on your mind that day.
For all those who are suffering from the coronavirus, that the healing hand of Christ may be upon them, we pray to the Lord.
Lord, hear our prayer.
Going to Mass and bringing George to prayer was really important for me, and for George and for his family. George is a man of deep, deep faith, and I know that it would bring him consolation to know that at that moment he was in prayer, in the prayer of the community, and the prayer that would ask for God's comfort and consolation to surround his family. For George, as a man of such deep faith, to be with Jesus on Easter Sunday would mean, would be significant for him in his faith life.
From Your TV, our thoughts go out to the Dimitrov family. Cyberseniors.org is providing online workshops for seniors. Trained youth volunteers help navigate online bill payments, online shopping, and how to interact with friends and family. All the workshops are free and online. Cyber Seniors tells us how to get connected.
How many people here have used a computer? Well, we have some teenage volunteers who are willing to teach you how to use the internet. 2014, Cyber Seniors was a school project that was started by my two youngest daughters and developed some teaching materials for the seniors and started teaching them how to use the internet. My oldest daughter, who's a filmmaker, was just very, very excited that this should be made into a documentary film. And so I produced it. My daughter directed it, and it was released in 2014. And it has since been broadcast in 40 countries around the world and has screened in 500 communities.
Have you ever heard of YouTube?
Yes, I've heard of it, but I have no clue as to what it means.
So many organizations started approaching us and asking us for help in starting a Cyber Seniors program within their communities. And that's when we decided that we would start a nonprofit and continue to help organizations develop this model within their community. We train young people, they can be teenagers in high school, college, university students, to become teachers for older adults. And in the pre-COVID-19 world, those volunteers went out to physical spaces and provided tech training for older adults. When COVID-19 came, instead of stopping programming, that we would just switch to a completely virtual program. So we're calling upon all young people to come and take the Cyber Seniors training program and then volunteer. And for seniors, it's a completely free service. They can phone us and we will set them up with a mentor that will provide them with support over the phone. But we also are hosting daily webinars using Zoom on a variety of different topics. We've had hundreds of seniors and young people sign up, and we are still in the process of working with some of our very dedicated partners to help further support expansion of our platform. We're very, very fortunate that we have this platform that has enabled us to move very quickly to get help to seniors, and to be honest with you, to help young people contribute to this crisis that we're all facing. There's a lot of young people that are actually looking to complete community service hours. So this is a great way in which they can collect their community service hours and really make a big difference in their community. So anybody that's able to get on the internet can go to cyberseniors.org. Our platform is free right now. We've opened it up for individuals and organizations. Young people can sign up as an individual member and take the Cyber Seniors training program, and then they can volunteer on our website. Organizations can sign up and get a free group membership program. And from there, they can either registered seniors under their group, or seniors can phone us directly and get registered so they can have access to all of the resources that are available. So our phone number is 1-844-217-3057.
All these things that I never even dreamed about.
I love it.
Welcome to a whole new world of information.
The annual Pedal for Hope cycling tour won't be heading into schools this year, but that's not stopping them from honoring their pledge to help kids in our community living with cancer. The Canadian Cancer Society announced today this year's tour has moved online as a virtual Pedal for Hope tour.
Not being able to go to the schools doesn't mean that we can't have Pedal for Hope.
Year 16 of Pedal for Hope will be different, but Sergeant John Townsend of the Peterborough Police Service and the rest of the Pedal for Hope team remain committed to providing an opportunity for youth to stay engaged.
It's crazy when you put a bunch of people together and you start coming up with this, how are we going to adapt? You start thinking, wow, why have we never done this in the first 15 years? Why did, Susie never get an email from a team member, kind of saying congrats and I love your story. So these are some of the things that we're experiencing because this is new to everybody. We're in uncharted waters. This is unprecedented, but we want to do a great job with the virtual tour, and we want kids to feel like they're engaged. We're going to send out challenges. We're going to send out different team members are going to post videos challenging kids to give us your best beach ball video. We start with beach balls every year in the schools, and it's absolute chaos. Well, we don't want to stop that. We don't want to feel like we're not doing it. So we're going to get kids to post videos of them playing with beach balls, or give us your best, tell us your best healthy eating, or your best ice cream eating contest. So there's going to be a lot of aspects from our tour that we actually have online that the kids can submit videos and participate and feel like they're really part of the team. And that's what it's all about.
Townsend also views this unique edition of Pedal for Hope as an opportunity to make closer, more personal connections with those who participate.
And that's what we're looking for kids to submit your stories on why you're doing it. What has motivated you? What family member are you recognizing, or are you honoring, or what friend are you supporting through this journey that they're going through living with cancer? What is your reason for doing it? And we're asking for stories to be submitted by email, by video. They can draw pictures and submit it. We'll put it on the website. We'll put it on social media. It allows us to reply to participants in a more, like you said, a more personal fashion. If they have a favorite team member, they have somebody that they like or they've been following, or maybe they just fell in love with the bear, then send an email and we'll send out the replies. And the team members are pretty excited that they actually get to maybe make a little bit more of a personal connection. And you know what? I've said it at the police service many times. Sometimes when you have to think outside the box and you have to change the way that you do things, at the end, when it's all over, we may find some good stuff that come out of this and some good ways of doing things. So the virtual aspect of the personal approach may never go away. This may be something that we continue in parallel to our actual physical tour coming back in 2021.
For more information, visit pedalforhope.ca and follow the links to their social media platforms. The virtual tour will run from May 4th to June 5th with a goal to raise $50,000 through online fundraising to support pediatric cancer research as well as the local pediatric family counseling program. As COVID-19 local impact continues on your TV, good news from the Northumberland United Way and an update from Kawartha Lakes Mayor Andy Letham. Welcome back to COVID-19 Local Impact on your TV. I'm Dan Malta. Andy Letham has an update on COVID-19 transmissions and also the local reaction to the province extending the state of emergency.
As you may have heard, the province is extending their state of emergency for another 28 days until May 12th. Accordingly, we will continue ours locally as well. Unfortunately, this means that you will see restrictions continuing for a while. It's important to realize that all of this is happening because what we're doing is working and making a difference. I want to take a moment to thank all of you for continuing to do your part. We ramped up enforcement this past weekend, and I am happy to say that both bylaw and police have reported that there were no serious issues with non-compliance in any of our public areas. Our local health unit is also currently reporting 108 positive cases in Kawartha Lakes. Please keep in mind that these are cumulative numbers since the beginning of March. This number will not decrease. It is meant to be a total representation over time of everyone who has ever been infected with COVID-19. According to the health unit, community spread in Kawartha Lakes is not any greater than anywhere else in the province. I am also pleased to report the Ross Memorial Hospital is in good shape and has created capacity for up to 100 beds in case there's a surge of inpatients in the next month. Currently, there are only 2 patients requiring treatment for COVID-19 at our hospital. We are very lucky to have the Ross Memorial Hospital in our community. We have some real heroes working over there. I wanted to lighten today's message by sharing some of the positive news we have here in the community. However, I wanted to stress that we are still in the middle of a global pandemic. Continuing to work together and all doing our part to stay safe is how we will get through this. Keep up the good work, and thank you.
We'll now shift to a good news story out of Northumberland. The Northumberland United Way had set a campaign goal of $850,000 last September. Last week, they were pleased to announce they have surpassed that goal. Your TV's Mark Rockburn caught up with CEO Bobby Dawson to find out more on the success of the campaign.
We came in at 852, 449, if I'm correct. It does surpass our expectations, given everything that's going on in the world today. Northumberland, County pulled together, proven, once again, we all take care of each other. We come out when we're needed. And it's just been, the response has been astounding. So we're really thrilled that we were able to not only get to the goal, but surpass the goal. As you know, there's lots going on in the world today, and we anticipate that it will likely hit the sector pretty hard. And although we will get government funding to some extent, we know that doesn't always meet all the need out there. And so we anticipate that our community partners will need more now than they have in a long time. So it is going to go to some really great causes, and we're really thrilled. Just the community support is fantastic.
So how were you able to not only reach your goal, but surpass your goal this year?
Yeah, so we had some every year we have our industry partners come out, and they raise a huge chunk of the revenue for us within their own internal employee campaigns. And you can see all of this information of all of our industry partners, and we name them and how long they've been involved with us on our website. So you can go to mynuw.org and see that information. We had the Angus Reid Foundation this year come to the table with a matching grant. That was fantastic. People always really, truly like those matching grants because it motivates them. They know that when they give, they're going to double their impact. So it really does work to bring in extra revenue. We were able to bring in another it was $135,000 at the end of the day. And so that was just fantastic. So grateful to the Angus Reid Foundation for that donation. We also had the Caitlin Bates Initiative. As you know, Caitlin Bates passed away a few years ago, and she would have been 16 this year. And in honor of her birthday, the Caitlin Bates Initiative donated a multi-year commitment, starting with $8,000 to match to 16 per year. So overall, it will bring in an additional $80,000 for local programs and services. And then individual donors, we have just, everyday people donating at whatever level they can give, and that adds up. That adds up to a huge portion of our revenue. So lots of fantastic things. We started the year with the Cantastic Four. We've got third-party events just all year round. The community support is fantastic. Per population, this United Way does very, very well comparatively. And I do believe it is because of that community spirit that exists in Northumberland County.
Been on the job 8 months, your first campaign as a CEO of United Way. What did you learn?
Well, I think I learned the power of a close-knit community. I've worked in larger areas, higher population areas, and what might take a spreadsheet and a strategy and a few meetings to do at a larger organization, really gets done a lot quicker at a smaller United Way, because it's really about, well, I know John, who knows Tom, who knows Judy, who knows this person, who can probably get us to do it. And it really does come together that way. It's every team meeting, I'm always blown away. Well, we can ask so-and-so, because I know they did this for us that year. And, it's really, it really is about those relationships and those close-knit relationships.
Great effort from everyone involved at the Northumberland United Way. The Cobourg Cougars have announced their new coach for the 2020-2021 season. General Manager Adam Yon tells Mark Rockburn there will be a familiar face behind the bench and how planning for next season is going in the midst of COVID-19.
We're very excited to add Dave and take the interim tag off. We were really impressed. We didn't get the wins that we necessarily wanted, but we liked the difference in the structure, the systems, and just the overall development in our players. And we think a full system with Dave at the helm will serve our players and do them wonders.
At the end of the season, David brought on a couple of guys, one being a former Cobourg Cougar, the captain of the team, who led the team to the RBC Cup champion, Josh McGuire. What's the status of those two guys, of those two individuals?
We're going to try and keep the staff as much as we can. Obviously, Josh playing at the University of Ontario, I guess Ontario Tech now, is going to be busy throughout the season. So we may be looking at a third person aside from Josh, but as it stands right now, the staff will continue.
What does this do for not only the Cobourg Cougars, but all junior clubs now that that this is thrown out? There's no hockey. You can't scout kids anymore. So what does this do for off-season planning, not only for yourself, but the coaching staff?
It's been a whirlwind, let's just put it that way, from everything from your recruitment in terms of typically you go and meet with kids and go out and scout, use this time to scout. There's just no hockey playing, so you resort back to video. Thankfully, Hockey TV's got a good selection of video that you can go and look at players. We were lucky, though. We started in January already with our scouting staff going out to different tournaments and different games. So we had a head start. We're confident with the list that we've pulled together, and we'll also be looking at more of our junior A, junior B targets as well to bring in. It just changes your whole vision of what you're wanting to do for next year and adapt. I think that's the biggest thing. There's obviously bigger things going on in the world that we have to be mindful of. First and foremost is the safety of our players, the staff, making sure that they're training, but at the same time making sure, most importantly, that they're staying safe and their families are safe. And then there's also different aspects when it comes to like our spring camps, our Ontario Junior Development League, that is opportunity for prospects that we may not have been able to see or be able to evaluate them in a junior A environment. Those are gone by the wayside right now. So it's all in flux, and it's an unprecedented time, and it's going to be very interesting. It's all about planning. It's all about planning and being ready for that. When the league says you're good to go, we're good to go.
How do you progress further now and into the foreseeable future, I guess, in this unknown?
It's very much situational planning. So basically going month by month and seeing, well, if we start up in July, or if we start up in August, or if we start up in September, what can we do? How does training camp look like? Do we have camps? Do we have the ability to assess players? It's being flexible, and that's the biggest thing. It's just planning your summer out and being ready to go at the drop of a pin.
Working on with the team and with the players that would be returning, how are you staying in contact with them? I see that you're starting to throw some social media posts to keep everybody up to date as to what's going on. How much in contact are you with those guys that potentially could come back next year?
We've got a group chat going. Dave's been doing a fantastic job with keeping in touch with them, and I've been chipping in here and there. Really very much trying to build that relationship further, install that relationship with Dave and the players. So he's been taking a lot of that, but we check in with the families and that side of things.
From the OJHL to the OHL, the Peterborough Petes weren't able to make a deep playoff run to boost the morale of the community, but the team staff is still making an effort to have a positive impact. Trainer and equipment manager Brian Miller has started making maroon and white face masks for workers at the Peterborough Regional Health Center and even received some praise from the rival Oshawa Generals on Twitter. The team is also selling #PuckCovid t-shirts on their website for $20, with proceeds being donated to the PRHC response effort supporting local medical workers. Spring cleaning can now shift into another gear as the Peterborough Landfill has reopened, with some restrictions, however, including how people use the landfill, the number of people allowed on the site, the types of materials you can drop off, acceptable payment methods, and hours of operation. The temporary operating hours are Monday to Saturday, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m., closed on Sunday and statutory holidays. For more information, visit www.peterborough.ca/landfill. That's all for the show today. We'll see you same time, same place, 4 p.m. tomorrow. For Your TV, I'm Dan Malta.